UFC Seattle happened about 2 days ago now. I'm a little late making the video. That's all right. But this is my entire recap and reaction to the entire fight. Joe Pyfer is now in the top 10. I believe he's ranked number 6. IZZY Aydesanya almost falls out of the top 10. He's now down to number 9. And a lot more. This was a super crazy card. A lot happened. Super weird. Maybe the weirdest card of all time? Question mark? Probably. I think so. I think that's fair to say. But anyway, we'll get started. We'll try to speed run this a little bit here because we're really late on it. But first of all, Aydesanya, as predicted, just steamrolls Bruna Brazil to a 30-27. Not really close fight. There were some moments where Bruna was able to mix it up a little bit, but other than that, she kind of just got controlled, out-grappled, outpaced in the feet, which was surprising. All right, this is what I want to talk about a little bit. Yanez versus Ricky Simón. I have in my notes like 5 times I have vintage Adrian Yanez, because this did look like this was going to be like a vintage, he's back, looking for a big fight outside the rankings. Instead, we go to judges' scorecards, and it's a draw. I think the judges got this one wrong. I think Yanez clearly won 2-1, I think. And there was a 10-8, which I agree with the 10-8. DC was having a stroke about how there shouldn't have been a 10-8 in the third round because it was only one knockdown. But it was a knockdown. It was like 10, 15 follow-up shots. And if that fight went on for like 5 more seconds, it would have been over. And that's just a fact. You can't even dispute that. That's just a factual statement. But it was a great fight, man. It really was. This was Adrian Yanez pumping the jab, looking good. His hands. This was the best Adrian Yanez since pre-Rob Font. This was his best performance for sure. It's unfortunate it didn't go his way. You know, he's had a lot of that maybe could have gone his way. You know, the Daniel Marcos fight, he could have won. It's been an unfortunate little run here for Yanez, but he showed that he is still really capable, and he's still got it for sure. And even though I didn't get the pick wrong because it was a draw technically, he definitely surprised me, and I think he surprised a lot of people because that looked like the Yanez we know. It's unfortunate he didn't get it. It really is, because he was. Oh, that's something I have to say. Ricky Simón, kick his fucking leg. Yanez is so fucking heavy on his lead foot, and he's like this. He's like leaning in, and he's like going in, and he's all like this, trying to defend the takedowns. And Simón didn't kick his fucking leg once, man. It's so open. And then you get that, and then you'll slow him down, and then work in the takedowns. It was just a really bad game plan from Ricky Simón. I don't want to take away from Yanez's performance, but Ricky Simón, make the adjustment. You know, tack the leg a little bit, man. Just one calf kick every minute. A calf kick. That would open up so much for you on the feet, because he got schooled on the feet. He couldn't touch him on the feet. He did outland him in the first round, I think, Ricky Simón. But Yanez was stinging him with right hands, stinging him with jabs that popped his face back, swelled his eye shut. Not shut, but there was some swelling kind of forming on his eye that would have gave Yanez that round. But I just felt like there was a lot of things where Simón could have used to kind of build himself into the fight, which he kind of didn't. And I think that's why he ultimately got dropped in that third round, got kind of schooled on the feet, and should have won. Should have lost, 29-28, 29-27, clear. But he gets to the draw. Unfortunate for Yanez, doesn't get his win bonus, doesn't get a finish bonus, doesn't get a fight of the night bonus. That's a shit one for him. I'm not going to lie. There's no sugarcoating it. That's shit. It's shit for Yanez. It really is. I hope they won't. They're cheap. I was going to say I hope the UFC gives them a little something, but they won't. Dana doesn't give a fuck. Anyway, up the card. Navajo Sterling finally gets that big KO. I mean, I said in the prediction video that I thought he was just going to be able to outpace him. And he was, but he caught him, and it was a really messy finish. It took like a minute and a half for the finish to happen, but he finds it. He tracks him down. He catches him with a nice right straight, and it wobbles him against the cage. And I mean, Lopez, he was so insistent on getting the takedown, And Lopez isn't really a takedown guy. He's more of a marauder, you know. So he kind of gassed himself out a little bit going for the takedown, I think. He was really over wrestling. And because I don't think he was doing terrible on the feet. He was losing in the feet for sure. But I think if you're Lopez there, you kind of have to trust your striking in that first round. Because when you got into that second round and later into the first, he was so gassed from just shooting over and over again. I think, yeah, but Sterling looked good, man. This was definitely his best performance to date. Yeah, he still looks open, and he's still kind of slow. He's so open when he throws, man. I can just see him getting chinned by someone like Jacoby or someone just outside the rankings. Like, a Johnny Walker would give him troubles. Dominic Reyes, those 10 to 15 area guys could give him some trouble. And that's probably what he's looking at next. Maybe one more before he gets ranked or gets a ranked fight, maybe, I would say. So we'll see what's next for him. But I think it'll be one more and then rankings. But he looked good, and that's all you can say. He got the finish. I do have to say, Dominic Cruz, whenever no-nonsense Keith Peterson refs a fight, Dominic Cruz is the funniest commentator of all time. During the finish, he mentioned 3 times that his fight with Cejudo was an early stoppage. It was hilarious. He's still bitter about it fucking 6 years later. And, yeah, just brain dead Cruz. CTE kicking in. No, I love it. It was funny. And then Casey O'Neill, out of nowhere, with a brutal slime out of Gabby Fernandez. That's who it was. Very similar to Mateusz Buskauskas versus Capiera, if you remember that fight, where the guy just kind of backed up and he got teed off against the fence. It was more of a fight than that one, but the finish was very similar, where she kind of cracked her. She backed up to the cage, and she just rained 1-2s down the pipe until Gabby just fucking folded. And yeah. So Casey O'Neill is a better striker than Kang Wang. Confirmed. Kong Wang. Because that's Kong Wang couldn't do that, man. People forget. Who does that? Who does that to Gabby Fernandez? Who does that? Casey O'Neill, that's who. Good win. Really good win. Nothing really to say there. Just kind of smoked her. I did not see that coming. I thought Gabby was going to be able to mix it up, but Casey looked good. Big first round KO. It's a huge finish. Good for her. Tybura. That was the most classic Tybura fight ever. When the fight was getting read, I was like, oh, they went 30-27. Tybura's going to win this. But you could argue his fortune. That's what I was thinking when the decision was getting read. They read it out. It's Tybura. Just to hold him against the cage. Just kind of crafty vetting it up. The crafty vet heavyweight does it again. But he doesn't. They read the decision. It gets read out. He wins. He's standing there in front of the camera going, yeah. And he's just smiling. It's really awkward. I was like, what's going on? Because it was like 30 seconds of him just like smiling at the camera and like being like, yay, I won. And then they bring Tyrell Fortune back from the back. Like he was walking to the back. They say, no, get back in there. They bring him all the way back out. They reread a decision. And Tyrell Fortune wins. How did Tyrell Fortune get a 30-27? Hello? He got pieced up that third round. That third round was so clear. When they said 30-27, I was like, all right, it's got to be Tybura. Even though I might not agree with it, I thought it was a really close fight. It could have gone either way, really. It was one of those ones at heavyweight. I thought it was going to be a split decision, but it wasn't. I don't know how you go 30-27 Fortune. That has to be pre-written. I'm sorry, man. I don't like saying that, but at some point, man, like, yeah, that was I don't even know how you could see that. Him winning that fight, that round, that third round. Because he got pieced up, man, that whole round. And it was, that was a weird one. Tyrell Fortune gets the robbery decision. Might not be a robbery. You can't really say it's a robbery. It was a really close fight with like 2 swing rounds and then a Tybura round. So, but super weird scoring, super weird card. This is what I was saying. This is the weirdest card ever. Just unexpected finishes. Weird judging. This was the weirdest one, for sure. This was the weirdest fight. Yeah. Up the card, Chase Hooper. This was more of a Chase Hooper win or loss than it was for a Lance Gibson Jr. win, you know? Because, as you know, the fight starts, Hooper, he goes for a single leg, he gets shucked off, and I mean, instantly. You can just see the demeanor of Chase Hooper instantly change. He gets instantly slumped over. He instantly looks like he doesn't want to be there as soon as he gets his takedown shucked off. He looked super fucking lazy. He looked like he didn't want to be there since the bell started. He got hit with a good body shot, a good liver body shot. He was like tucked up like this, and Gibson snuck it under, and he brought his hands way down, and he hunched right over for like the rest of the fight. And as soon as that happened, I was like, this is gonna get interesting, and it did. It did. And then he shot in, and once he got rocked with it, or he got hurt to the body, he shot in again. He got shucked off, but this time while he was shucking off, Lance Gibson threw an elbow with his shuck off, and it clipped him right in the temple. And Chase Hooper was just all wibbly wobbly, all over the place. Didn't know where he was. Fell over 3 times, I think. He was stumbling all over the place. Kind of rolled to his back. Gibson was pouring it on. He rolled to his back kind of during a exchange, and then they just kind of called it off. But Chase Hooper just looked like a victim the whole fight. It was literally just a whole fight of Chase Hooper getting his ass kicked, which is unfortunate. It really is. But yeah, it's unfortunate, and I think this is the end of any hype you can have for Chase Hooper, because it's not like an Oliveira. It's not. Oliveira was never ooh, I don't want to strike at all. He would he would get clipped. Maybe he didn't have the best chin, but it's not even Hooper doesn't have a good chin or this. He just doesn't like getting hit. And when he gets hit, he completely just shuts off. And he's just, I don't want to be here as soon as he gets hit. As soon as there's any resistance to anything he does, he doesn't like it. And that's it. That's the Chase Hooper story. And I'm off the Chase Hooper train. Maybe he can still turn it around, but I very much doubt it. Up the card, Ignacio Bahamondes loses to the filthiest, rattiest cheater in the sport, Tafik Musafayev. Bahamondes was looking like he was just going to be on his a schooling path in the first round. He didn't really get touched at all in the first round. Just kind of, outpaced him, outworked him, outlanded him at range. Tafik couldn't get past the range of Bahamondes at all on the feet. And, it just looked like it was going to be Bahamondes cruising, because he was cruising in that first round. We move on to the second round. As soon as it starts, he lands one of the nastiest 1-2s, right on the chin, perfect. Drops Tafik Musafayev bad. Musafayev doesn't know where he is. He gets up. Bahamondes shifts, takes the back, is about to suplex him, picks him up, and Tafik grabs his whole hand in the cage and pulls himself back down, and the ref watches it. It's in front of the ref. The ref has a clear view of this. He doesn't say a word. Tafik's able to then turn around and kind of get to a wrestling spot. And this is where Bahamondes F's up. He goes for a guillotine, an arm in guillotine. And that's it. He had him hurt. He had him wobbling the feet. He went for an arm and guillotine. I know, you shouldn't. It was the Tafik fence grab that kept him in that position before that could happen. Because he would have gone slammed on his face and probably finished with or he would have had the rest of the round to ride it out. But don't jump a guillotine, man. You're not Dustin Poirier. It's not funny, It's not worth the meme. You just kind of threw the fight there. Anyway, Tafik gets out of it because it's an arm and guillotine. Then kind of swings the round back with big elbows and 3 headbutts in front of the ref. Ref doesn't say a word again. But he did land a nasty elbow. The first elbow he landed cut open Bahamondes brutally. And then he headbutted him right on it to open it up even more. But Bahamondes was just so bloody. There was so much blood. And that was the round. Musafayev just kind of stayed on top. Landed good elbows every once in a while. And then that was it. And Bahamondes was cooked. Start around 3. He just gets instantly on the hips, instantly takes him down, and is able to ride out to the decision. He should have gotten a point taken for that. I don't know, man. This is so fucked up. Bahamondes is one of my favorite unranked fighters, and he got actually messed up here. And this guy's a goofy cheat. I think everyone needs to know that. Tufik Masayev, just a fucking dirty fighter. Bitch made pussy from that part of the world where they all cheat and no one cares. I'm sick of it. That was so fucked up. Anyway, up the card. Terrence McKinney, a classic Terrence McKinney swarming on Kyle Nelson. Kyle Nelson didn't do anything this whole fight. McKinney landed a head kick on his arms. He blocked it, but I guess just the momentum of it pulled him down, and he just pulled Anthony Smith, curled up in a ball. That's it. That's literally all I can say. Actually, I will say this. Isn't it crazy that Terrence McKinney has not had a bonus? Didn't get one this week. Hasn't gotten one in his entire career, which is crazy considering he knocked out Matt Vervola in like 10 seconds in his debut as an underdog. How is this guy? They got to be giving him some side money or something. But I could see why they didn't give him one for this one, because Nelson didn't even try to fight. I can't even say much about that. It's just McKinney, a classic McKinney, and Kyle Nelson. Let the boys of Canada down. But anyway, Yusri Belgaruli versus... He had one of the best performances I've ever seen in my life. Yusri Belgaruli. Abdul Malik couldn't do anything. Mansour Malik got pieced up the entire fight. This is one of the best performances I've seen from a middleweight prospect. Trying to think. I think maybe ever. This might be the best middleweight prospect performance I've ever seen against a good comp. Even though I didn't think that Mansour Malik, is that his name? I think I'm saying some of these names wrong. One sec, I gotta take a topology. I forget his name, and this is crazy that I forget his name. But I want to make sure I'm not saying it wrong, because I feel like I'm kind of getting some of these names wrong right now. It is Mansour Abdul Malik. Okay, I was right. It just felt wrong to say it like that. Anyway, Belgaruli schools Mansour Abdul Malik for 2.5 rounds. Malik was not able to get his takedowns. He couldn't get past the range of Belgaruli. Belgaruli's so big for the weight class. He's so long. I mean, how does this guy make 185? That's what we're going to be saying about him in a couple of years when he's at light heavyweight, because he will have to move up, I think, at some point. But for now, we'll see how long he can last at middleweight, because he's so massive for the weight class. But if he can keep it here, he's going to be a problem for a lot of these guys. And his takedown defense, it looked good. He had good takedown defense. And when he got to the ground, he knew exactly what to do to get up, which is good. He's training with a good gym. He's with Glover. Glover's kind of, with Pereira. He said that in his post-fight speech. So he's got a good gym, good kind of a mojo going. He's on a good streak. He just knocked off 2 prospects back-to-back. I think we get this guy straight to the rankings. You might be saying that might be a little bit too early. Maybe someone just outside the rankings. Maybe I was gonna say Octavia Gautier, but he's even lower. Gautier's can-fed, and so was Mansour Abdul Malik. Don't get me wrong, but I'm thinking we need to get someone off a good win, just outside the rankings, kind of thing. Maybe a Shara Bullet versus Yusri Belgaruli. I think that'll be good. And I think Belgaruli beats him. I think he chins him, because I don't think Shara's that good. Maybe an MVP fight. I saw some people saying he should fight IZZY. I wouldn't mind that, actually. I know you're thinking that's a little bit too early, but IZZY's number 9 in the world now. They have history and glory. They fought in glory before. Maybe IZZY wants a pure kickboxing fight. I could see that happening, and I wouldn't mind that. I really wouldn't mind that. That would be kind of fun. I think that'd be a good fight, a good bounce-back fight for IZZY. Demetrius Johnson in the Hall of Fame. I thought I should mention that. Deserved completely. Yeah, that's all I can say about that, DJ. He should have already been in the Hall of Fame. Douglas just completely just destroys Julian Erosa in a round. Knocks him down 3 times with a jab, back to back to back. Big meaty hooks. This guy's a big meaty hook merchant for sure. I can't, like, this is just like the McKinney fight where it's like I can't really say much. Erosa was trying to stay in there. He tried to find his base. He tried to grit down and throw, but Douglas hits too fucking hard, man. This guy looks like he's going to be a problem at featherweight. Yeah. Chiesa just destroys Nico Price in a minute. Retirement was 15 times longer than the actual fight. Chiesa, man, what a legend. What a marauder. You know, what a legend of the sport. That's all I can say about this fight. I don't know. Nico the Dodo Bird also retired. He kind of didn't know. It was funny that he put the gloves down. He's like, I retire. Am I going to get a speech? No? Okay, I'll just leave then. Shout out to those guys. Unk on Unk violence. All right. We're back to a good one. Alexa Grasso, welcome to the Slime Out Hall of Fame. Wow. An all-timer. An all-time Slime Out. Macy Barber was shadowboxing at range. You know, watch out, she's shadowboxing. Watch out for the ghost. Oh. She looked like she was going to, shadowbox her way to a 30-27 loss. And then she shadowboxes a little too close. She gets a little too close with her punches. Is actually in range. Gets countered. Dropped brutally. Put out with a hammer fist. I think that's something people missed. She got dropped bad with the right hand. And then Grasso followed up with like a shovel uppercut while she was like turned around like this. Like Grasso was behind her. She was like, and she got hit like right there with a shovel punch. And then she used that to turn it into a rear naked choke. But I think that knocked her out. And she got put into it. And then she was already out. Starts wrestling with the ref after. Looks like she's the Jesus on the cross. Yeah, good slime out. Not much you can say about this fight either, other than it was just an amazing slime out. But now on to the main event. And this one I have some stuff to say about. Okay, the fight starts. Pyfer looks nervous. He looks like a plotty plodster on the feet. Izzy's looking good. He's chopping low, hitting him in the body. He was cruising, man. He was cruising. He was looking like he was going to get a all-time vintage Izzy performance. He's chopping the leg. He's doing everything right, staying away. Pyfer can't track him down, as I said. He would clip him a couple times in the first round, but nothing major. Izzy stays good. We get to the second round, and Izzy just forgets how to fight and forgets exactly what he was doing in the first round. I mean, it's frustrating. I used to be a big fan of Israel Aydesanya until he sexually assaulted his dog. But, it's just like, this was such a weird card in the fact that there was just like so many weird fighter decisions too. Like, how are you doing so good and then you just go, okay, now I'm going to stand and bang in the pocket with the hardest hitter in the weight class. Literally. The hardest hitter in the weight class. And then he gets caught a couple times because he's just standing there. He's not moving. He's not circling. He had Pyfer's leg destroyed. He was limping on the leg, and he just stopped throwing. And Pyfer just fucking maraudered him. Literally. An all-time marauder performance from Joe Pyfer. A star is made for sure. He's now number 6 in the world. He's going to be like 1 or 2 away from a title shot. So good for Joe Pyfer. Said that he was having thoughts of suicide before this one, which is always sad. Men's mental health. If you're ever feeling depressed or something, there's resources. People love you, man. It's always a interesting topic. Make sure you tell your loved ones you love them, man. Seriously though, because you never know what someone's going through. And good for Pyfer, man. Gets a big win. Good story. He just dragged him down. He He grabbed him, and then he just grabbed his knee and just kind of threw him. Ends up on mount. Izzy's doing a kind of decent job of moving, and then he gets to the back. And there was like a minute 30 left, and Pyfer was on the back. And I was thinking, okay, Izzy, we can stay here. You know, we don't have to panic to try to get up. And I think and then Pyfer, like, he was just kind of fighting hands. And I was like, okay, we can hold hands. We can fight hands here for the rest of the round, ride it out. And we'll get back to the range. We'll lock in again. And then Pyfer scrambles to the mount. And Izzy, there's like a good chance Izzy's got to fucking fight with everything here now, because this is where you actually have to really go. Because if he gets that mount, we're in a 10 times worse scenario, you know, because you don't want to be him on your back, you on your belly, or you on your back on the mat and he's on mount. I would rather be him on my back and we're both on the mat, you know, like he has the hooks in, like a body triangle in. Instead of mount, because you got to fucking scramble there, man. You got to try to push off. You got to push everything you have. And he didn't, and Pyfer won the scramble. A very ugly-looking scramble, too. Just looked like Izzy didn't have it in him anymore. And then it was over. He got mount. Izzy rolled over. He was on his back, flattened out. Pyfer was just laying down shots, and Izzy was kicking his feet up. And that was it, man. Pyfer gets it done by TKO in round 2. Yeah, the end of round 2. Gets a performance bonus. Him and Grasso, I think. And the fight of the night was Bahamundes Tafik. Pretty sure. Unfortunate for Izzy. He's officially washed. I don't think he wins a fight in his career ever again. Unless he gets like a pure kickboxer. But even then, he looks slower. His reaction time looks slow. He was getting tagged by shots that he shouldn't be getting tagged by. It was just a really bad performance from Izzy. And I think he should have retired, really. That's like the big narrative, but yeah. Because I don't see him winning any fights unless he gets like a big reset against someone really low. But even then, it'd be tricky, you know? Well, anyway, that was UFC Seattle. My very late reaction and breakdown of it. We'll be back with predictions tomorrow for Moicano versus Chris Duncan. But for now, spots out, baby.